Hello guys, welcome to Ashish Academy again. Now it's very important concepts which we are just going to discuss is for this containerization and also that automated build process with the cloud, Kubernetes and Docker. So basically these are things we need to uh, just discuss, and it is a very much popular with the local deployment, hybrid deployment as well as the cloud deployment. So there is a two name which is very much popular in this current era of development is for Kubernetes and Docker, and also the new industry came out in last few years is something called as a DevOps. So we need to understand what is the DevOps and what is the use of this Dockers and what is the use of this Kubernetes and these tools, and then support from. So we will start from the Docker. So Docker is an open source technology and a container file format for automating the deployment of application as a portable self-sufficient containers that can run in a cloud or on premises. So either it can run in the own premises or maybe on the cloud. So although it shares a similar name, it one of the companies that cultivate the open source Docker technology to run on Linux as well as Windows in collaboration with the cloud provider like Microsoft. So there are so many cloud providers like Microsoft or Alibaba, Google, Amazon, like that. While the idea of isolating environment is not new, and there are other types of containerization softwares. Docker has grown to be the default container format in the recent years. So Docker is very much popular. There are some other softwares also. So Docker features the Docker engine, which is a runtime environment. It allows you, so basically there is a Docker engine. It allows you to build and run containers on any development machine, then store or share container images through a container registry like Docker Hub or Azure Container Registry. So basically there is a concept of image. So we will create an image and we store this image into a Docker registry, and then we use that registry and then into a container. That is the basically a concept. So either any technology, either if you are using a Node.js, you are using a .NET, or you are using a Java. So we will create an image. So basically that Docker engine, which is a runtime environment, which is basically helping it us, and it allows you to build and run the containers on any development machine. So basically, that Docker engine is basically is backend, which is basically just help it to you for build and run the container. As an application grows to span multiple containers, when you have a multiple containers, so either you can have a one Unix box and one container, only one container can be sufficient for one, or maybe if you have multiple containers deployed across a multiple servers, operating systems then become a more complex. When you have multiple containers on the multiple host machine, it will be a little bit complex. While Docker provides an open standard for packaging and distribution containerized apps, the potential complexity can up and the fast. So basically, when Docker provides open source standard for packaging as well as the distributed containerizer. So basically it is when you have a multiple host and multiple machines and multiple servers and multiple containers. So it is coming under the distributed containerized apps. How do you coordinate the schedule many containers? So how you can schedule it? So how do you all the different containers in your app talk to each others? How do you scale many container instances? This is where the Kubernetes can help. So when we talk about single container, so Docker itself can help it to you. But when you talk about the clustered distributed environment, when you have a multi nodes or maybe multiple hosts and multiple containers, then the Kubernetes will come and help it to you. So that is the basically overall concepts. So let's talk about the Kubernetes. So it is all about the containerizations. Okay, when we talk about containerization, so we have that container on that particular Unix box or maybe any other Java machine as well. So we will have a container, and through Docker engine, we will run that particular code, build and then run the code. That is the basically overall concept. It is, and we will store, so it will create an image, then image will be getting stored into a either on local machine, then you can just put this image into any other registry. Either it can be a Azure registry or maybe a Docker Hub, and then we can pull that image to deploy or any other container, either on the cloud or the local or maybe in hybrid from the Docker Hub through the connectivity and the through permissions. So Kubernetes is an open source orchestration software that provides an API to control how and where those containers will run it. So you can control and how and this multiple containers can. It allows you to run your Docker containers and workloads, help you to tackle some of the operating complexities where moving to scale multiple containers and deploy across the multiple servers. So that is basically scaling is there is point where we talk about horizontal scaling and vertical scaling. So here we are talking about horizontal scaling when you will create a multiple host and multiple servers and multi nodes you can say, and then you will make this multiple containers, then the application will run inside the container. So Kubernetes lets you the orchestrate a cluster of virtual machines and schedule a container to run on those virtual machines based on their available compute resources and the resource requirement on each container. So containers are grouped into pods, the basic operational unit for a Kubernetes. So basically these containers are also grouped into pods. These containers are and pods can be scaled to your desired state, and you are able to manage their life cycle to keep your apps up and running. So basically this when you are scaling up these containers and pods, right, then you are able to manage their life cycle to keep your app up and running like this. What is the difference between Docker and Kubernetes? That is, we already discussed. If you have a fundamental differences, if you have a single machines, then you can use as a Docker. But Kubernetes is meant to run across a cluster while Docker runs on a single node. That is, we already discussed. Kubernetes is more extensive than Docker Swarm. There is also another engine or maybe tool which is a Docker Swarm, and it means to coordinate clusters to node it scale in the production in the efficient manner. But Kubernetes is much more extensive. Kubernetes pods scheduling units can contain one or more containers in the Kubernetes ecosystems and are distributed among the nodes to provide basically if you are talking about any other production environment, so you need to have a multiple nodes to take care of this failover mechanism. So every maybe you can have a, when you are using a cloud, so maybe you can have a machines on multiple zones or maybe a different locations as well to give that manage the network latency as well as the give some much more high performance, and that can condition also you will have that multiple machines. Then how you will manage the life cycle and like this. So then in that case that Kubernetes will help to you. So Kubernetes and Docker, there is a no such comparison. We already know that Kubernetes is a extensive support on Docker for a multiple nodes. So that is a basically you can say. So there is a no question about the which is a better. But if you have a specific requirement for clustered multi-nodes, then definitely we need to have that Kubernetes because it cannot go ahead with the Docker only. While the promising of the container is to code once the run anywhere, Kubernetes provides the potential of orchestrate and manage all your container resources. So that is a basically, and if you talk about that microservices architectures, definitely you have a complex microservices without mocking up the entire application in the development environment. So in that case, if you have a multiple microservices, and generally if you have 50 to 100 microservices, and each microservice you will have some kind of a failure multi nodes or maybe multiple instances, then you need to have a proper setup and lifecycle management also. So we need to have the Kubernetes. So Kubernetes and Docker, that is also we discussed, make your infrastructure more robust and your app more highly available. your app will remain online even if some of the nodes go offline, because it's nothing but a horizontal scaling which we are talking about. Make your applications more scalable. If your apps starts to get a lot more load and you need to scale out to be able to provide a better user experience, it is a simple to spin up more containers to add more nodes to your Kubernetes clusters. So you can easily spin up and add much more containers and much more nodes. So whenever we talk about adding new systems, if you don't have, then you need to add another machine, then set it up everything and something like that. That is very critical and it is take us too much time. So making or creating another machine, another node, and then setting up everything and something, so that is the everything is taken care by the Kubernetes. Kubernetes and Docker works together. So Docker provides an open standard for packaging and distributing containerized applications. So that is we already discussed. Using a Docker, you can build and run containers and store the shared container images. That is we have already discussed. So we need to use that particular Docker command. Through that we will create the image, and that image we can keep either on your local machine, or maybe we can upload into your registry. You can create your own private registry, or maybe in the public registry you can also upload. Private registry you will upload it and you can expose this to entire world, or maybe you can use it for your own purpose. And when you are deploying to any other container, then you can pull that image and you can deploy it. So either you can directly deploy from your local machine, or maybe you can take it from there. So one can easily run a Docker build on the Kubernetes cluster, but Kubernetes itself is not a complete solution. So to optimize the Kubernetes in the production implementation, additional tools and services to manage the security, governance, identity, and access, along with the continuous integration, continuous deployment, workflows, and other DevOps practice. So basically, Kubernetes itself is not very much powerful. We also need to have that continuous integration and continuous deployment tools, workflows basically, to work with the DevOps practices. And also you need to have that security management, how and who will be accessed and who will deploy. And there are some rules, authorizations also required, government identity and access, basically something, nothing but security and the access. So these are tools, and then support is also required. So as of now, we have discussed that what is the Kubernetes, what is the Docker, how Docker works, how we will create the images, how we can put the images, and then so that is the basically we have discussed. And then Kubernetes is basically where the Kubernetes fits, where the Docker fits. These are things we have discussed till now, right? So this is a typical flow, which is a basically which we are using with the cloud. So when we talk about, normally we develop, so we use the source control, right? So source, we need to manage this particular source. Either we use that clear case, or maybe SVN, or maybe nowadays GitHub is very much popular. So we can, so any other tool, or we can use it to manage our source code, and we create that particular label or like this, and then we can, so nowadays we use that GitHub, very much popular. And GitHub's giving a much more extensive integration with different clouds or Docker and any other development environment. So we use that so that local any other developer will develop the code and keep that code into a GitHub. Then DevOps teams will take it up from the code and create that image, and that it keep into a Azure container registry. Okay, and then it will be just deployed into a different pods here, so in the different containers also. So that is the basically, and this is nothing but and this particular box, if you will see, that box is nothing but representing to a cloud environment, and then these pods are connected to SQL, or maybe Azure DB, or maybe any other database. It is depends on our requirement. It is just, if you are using a one database, you can use it. If you are using a multiple database, you can use it. But it's taking upon very complex example. So here, if anybody is just trying to access here, so it will just this admin access is nothing but representing to admin. So you can just take it up and use that through a admin access, and then work on that particular cloud and just do it, perform the task. So here we have also giving that particular serial number. What is the task which will perform first? It will just code will be checked in and uploaded to GitHub. Then GitHub through DevOps we will just creating an image and uploading to Azure. Through that, after uploading the registry, then it will be getting through admin access. It will be getting deployed here, right? Then using that Active Directory, we will get that access, and then here on the multiple pods we will just deploy the code here, and it is nothing but SQL and the database which we can just use it. It's up to us. It is nothing. Here we have just given use an IDE such an Eclipse to commit and change the code to a GitHub. GitHub triggers a new build on the Azure DevOps. Azure DevOps package microservices as a container and pushes them to the Azure Container Registry. Containers are deployed to AKS clusters. That is, we have already seen. Then Azure Active Directory is used to secure access to our resources. Basically, uh, we just do the authentication through Azure Active Directory. User access services via apps and websites. Administration access the apps via separate admin portal, and microservices uses the database to store and retrieve the information. So basically that is nothing but your business related development, whatever microservices is developed for. So that is the basically the complete flow here, which you can see key what are the steps, which is basically which we have provided here. This is the basic, the complete flow when we are working with here we are talking about Azure Container Registry. You can use as a Docker Hub registry as well, and here we can use this any particular cloud where this pod are existing either on AWS or maybe Alibaba or maybe Google or maybe a Microsoft, but much more popular are AWS as well as in the Azure. So these are basically concepts which we can say and the overall flow where this Docker as well as Kubernetes got fit into our development, and now the DevOps complete industry is very much popular. So many people are looking for the DevOps professionals. And another thing is that so containerization let you standardize how code is deployed, making it easy to build a workflows. So it is a very much important. Why? Because containerization is very much required. It's a secure reliability purpose, or maybe if you have any other choices, or maybe any other cloud integration. So that is a much more easier. Basically, when we talk about containerizations, right? So containerization of an applications brings many benefits, including the basically portability between different platforms and clouds. It is truly right once and run anywhere. So basically, एक बार you need to just write and develop the code once, and then you can run anywhere. Efficiency through using far fewer resources than VMs, delivering high utilization of the compute resources. So these are basically uh, you can say the advantages, right? So that entire process of building, deployment, and setting up, it is much more very much standardized, and we can easily set it up. So these are basically there are definitely there's flexibility work on the virtualized infrastructure. That is another advantages, right? And if you are talking about containers, so what is a container? So container are high. lightweight software components that bundle the application, its dependency, its configuration in a single image, running in isolated user environment on traditional operating system, on a traditional server, on in the virtualized environment. So basically it's a very lightweight software components that help it to us for bundle the applications, dependencies of the application and its configuration in a single image. That is we already discussed in Docker. We have the Docker engine which is basically help it to us for build and run. So running in ISO, so basically running in isolated user environments on a traditional operating system like Windows or Unix or any other traditional servers. Maybe if you're talking about Java, maybe any other Tomcat or WebLogic or maybe like this. So that is not, doesn't make any difference. But for packaging, making the image, it really makes a difference, and it is really helping it to us for creating a very virtualized environment. So these are basically another very important aspect of that particular, you can say, build and deployment process. And when we go ahead with the multi nodes, then how you will manage it, that is also make life your very much easy. And if you are going with the cloud environment, so you need to have it, because the deployment on the cloud with your some of the traditional way or the legacy way of a build and deployment, it is not making much more adding of values. And now every company, every client is looking for CI/CD completely automated without any fail, and it is very controlled process.